To another review. This time we're going to be doing the PMDG 737-700. Now, of course, this is a payware aircraft and it does cost around 60 UK pounds. Obviously, it depends on where you are in the world. So it is pretty expensive. I'm going to say that straight off the bat. It is quite a high price. But for that price, you get a highly detailed and accurate simulated version of the 737-700. Which is, of course, developed by PMDG. A company that specialises in high quality aircraft simulation software for flight simulators. Now, having bought the 737-700 quite a while back and obviously having a lot of time with it, I've come to realise that it's possibly one of the best payware aircraft out there. I mean, got to give credit where credit is due. PMDG have done a fantastic job. The quality of the visuals of the exterior and the interior models, as well as all the other little details, are absolutely fantastic. Now, let's go over the functionality. Now, of course, it does come with all the bells and whistles you'd expect from PMDG 737. It's got everything in there which you can possibly imagine. It's got to work in FMC. You can do RNAV procedures, which I've not done yet. I'm gonna have to admit, I don't like doing RNAVs. I'm just throwing that out there. But everything in the plane works as it should do. Now, however, there has been it is a bit of a pain to me personally to download it. You've got to go through a lot of things to download it. Obviously, once you've downloaded it, happy days. Now, however, if you're only a beginner to Microsoft Flight Simulator, so if you get Microsoft Flight Simulator at Christmas, this aircraft is probably not for you. You probably want to try the baseline aircraft, get used to flying the normal aircraft, because this is a study level aircraft, so it's pretty much, that's the only drawback I can say from it. It's not really good for newbies. I mean, you can get in if you want, no one's stopping you, but you're going to feel a bit miffed when you pay $60 for a plane and then suddenly don't realise how to work it. You're going to be like, well, this is rubbish. It's really for like the hardcore flight simmers. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I mean, personally, I'd say I'm an average flight simmer, but it does the trick for me as well. And of course, it does take a while to get used to on how to start it up and all that good stuff. But, all in all, it is a very good aircraft. As I said at the beginning though, it is expensive. Really expensive. In fact, it's really expensive to get the whole range, but you're getting your bang for your buck. And especially for your previous PMDG customer, I believe you got a discount for it as well. Or they do the odd discounts. And there's always a lot of sales, especially around this time of year. Every company's doing sales online and all that good stuff. So, what's it like to fly? The flight model is absolutely beautiful. It feels how it should. It flies how it should. Obviously, landing once I first started, it is a bit tricky, but it works with VATSIM as well. And it's just you can tell the difference of the weight in this plane. Like if you were to go from a 747 to this plane, you'd be able to tell quite drastically. That's how detailed the plane model is. I mean, I did some drawbacks. I mean, I did at one point, I think it was because obviously it was my fault, I didn't update it. I didn't actually have it updated for some reason when I loaded it in. The yoke would be facing the left and it wouldn't move back, but that's probably on my ending anyway. So that's another thing as well. Make sure you always check the PMDG Op Center for updates, because that's probably what caused it. But all in all, it is a fantastic plane, and if you're really into your flight simming and you really want to take your flight simming experience to an actual another level, then I would absolutely 100% buy this, as long as you can afford it. As I say, this is not a freeware like the Headwind A330. If you want freeware, go for that one, or the fly-by-wire A320. But if you've got the money to burn, or if you can afford it, or if somehow you've managed to get into it, get into some money, this is the plane for you. It is one of the best payware planes out there on the market. 100 times better than the Captain Sim. Unfortunately, that was just my review is going to be coming on that eventually. It's look forward to that, because that's going to be spicy. But obviously, I just cannot It is a good plane, but as I say, I can only stress it is only for people who really are going to put a lot of time and effort into wanting to learn this aircraft. I mean, you can, I'm going to say it now, you can just set it up so the plane's all set up, ready to go. In the FMC, there's options in there, which I probably will do a tutorial video on at some point as well, if the audience wants it. But there is a way you can go on the FMC, you can set up the state of how you want the plane to be loaded once you've loaded in the game. I normally do that just for efficiency, because I'm still getting used to the plane as well. Obviously, I just do it out of efficiency because I just want to get up and go. But I have been trying to learn it properly. And there will be a startup video coming up soon once I've learned a bit more about the aircraft. As I say, I'm still quite relatively new to it. And I'm still quite relatively new to like flight simming in general. I'm still learning. But it is compatible with VATSIM. It doesn't have a fly pad, obviously, because it is an old aircraft. But if this is anything to go by, and I know for a fine fact that PMDG have got the 777 in the works, I cannot wait for that one, because there is not a decent 777 model at the moment, unless you're on X-Plane or Flight Simulator X. But all in all, this plane is absolutely fantastic if you want to buy it. Now, as I says, you're probably thinking, well, hang on, what's the difference between... So, enough rambling on from me, let's go into what the PMDG 737 is all about. No. Another thing about the 737-700 as well, obviously, if you're flying in live weather, it does react and pick up on the live weather situations, obviously, as all planes should do, but this one does it to quite an accurate detail. So like, if there's really high winds, you will feel it. You will feel it coming in, as you should. From the last I heard, I think actual real pilots and aviation pilots who fly as their job actually use this aircraft for training and simulation purposes. I mean, you know you're getting a good aircraft when actual airline pilots, and don't know if there's any airline pilots out there who can quote me on that. Please leave a comment down below if you can. But they actually use it for practice and improving pilot skills. Now, if that doesn't say anything about how you want to level up your flight sim experience to a whole new game, or if you're even looking at wanting to learn to fly, this plane might help you out on that before you start thinking, or if you've just finished doing your private pilot's license and you want to try and get your ATPL, this is the plane to go to. So, folks, with that, I think this plane overall is excellent for the price. Obviously, I know some people out there are probably thinking it's a bit too steep. Unfortunately, no one's forcing you to buy this. But if you have the money and you are investing a lot of time in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, or you're part of a virtual airline which has these in their fleet like mine does, I would implore you to buy this aircraft and give it a go. Of course, you can always refund it, I think. I don't know what the refund procedure is, but honestly, folks, this is a fantastic aircraft. I mean, there are some niggles and stuff like that, but PMDG are working on that. They are working hard on trying to keep these planes going, and of course, you've got to respect them. They are doing other projects as well. And it even comes with a wide range of liveries, from the American airlines over in the States, the European airlines, what you see flying around if you're in Europe, what I've seen flying around. There's also, it comes with a load of different subtypes of this plane. So it comes with the cargo version, the BBJ version, the business one, the NG, the one where they've got it's just like a complete Swiss Army knife when it comes to how many different variants there is. So, folks, I think I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna actually start doing ratings on this. I'd actually give this one an 8 out of 10 for this one for payware aircraft, because I would give it a 10, but as I've said, I've had slight issues with it, and I'm probably not the only one who's had slight issues with it. The price puts it down slightly as well. It will put a lot of people off. So, as I say, if you're only just a beginner, or you've only just got starting out on Microsoft Flight Simulator, or you got it for this Christmas, you might want to rethink before you start buying planes of this caliber. If you're really into flight sim and you really want to get into it, then of course, by all means, go ahead. But other than that, that is this review of the 737-700 by PMDG. Great aircraft, but I would only advise it for those who've been simming for a long time or are hardcore simmers and have got a lot of time and money to invest in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So, for that folks, I shall see you in the next video, which will be the 800 version of this. Obviously you're probably thinking, is there much difference? Yes there is. You will find out in the next video. So, if you're currently liking these review series, don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe and help the channel grow, because every sub and every view means everything. And of course I would like to thank my recent subscribers who have subscribed to me in the past couple of weeks. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I do hope you enjoy the lives as well. There will be more lives coming up. Obviously, I know I used to do lives every day, but then it just dropped a bit. Obviously, I was going through some stuff. But hopefully within the new year, there should be some more Fly UK Virtual Airline content. And also, I've still got my World Music Tour to continue as well. So, with that, folks, I hope you have a very good holiday season. And I'll see you in the next video.